Aloha, shamans, and welcome to our little corner of the galaxy here in this interdimensional space called EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States of America. And welcome to all our friends locally, abroad, around the world, and our galactic partners. And today is Friday, June 7th, 2024. We are live. Tonight's topic will be the medicine wheel. Health, addictions, and interactions with Heidi Fire Owl. If we can get her back on the internet again. We were a little late, a couple of minutes late there. With some technical difficulties connecting with her, so still trying to do that. And this will be part 3 tonight, if we can do that part of the show. So if you want to go back and look at the other 2 shows from last week and week before, just go to the EarthStar YouTube channel and make sure you click the live tab. And there you'll be able to find it over there under the live tab. And we are Dale and Jeanne Stacy, your hosts for tonight. We are the Abbots of EarthStar Spiritual Center. So thank you for being here with us.
We appreciate y'all being here on a Friday night. Lots of things you could be doing, but we're eager to hear what Heidi has to say and to follow up with more medicine wheel information.
Yes.
And so we're waiting for her to come on.
Yeah, we were with her a few minutes, about 15 minutes before the show, but then then it went down, and she's switching phones and computers, and she'll try to get back with us when she can. So let's go ahead and just start some of the slides, and we'll do some of the prep work before she gets here. So it is June 7th, 2024. Can you believe that? And tonight will be about the shamanic life coaching, simply shaman. So the medicine wheel, health, addiction, interactions. And this will be part 3 with Heidi Fire Owl. And we are EarthStar Spiritual Center. We are a multi-faith church living aloha. I've been doing this since 2002. Our core principles are to the left there, spelled out by aloha. And that's all loving God, love, oneness, heart path, and as above, so below. So as soon as we can get Heidi back, we'll start with the medicine wheel. And so for tonight, what we have going on is that Tuesday night, we'll continue our Simply Shaman at 7 o'clock. And I think we're going to continue our star person emphasis, because last week or this past Tuesday, make sure you check out the replay for Are You a Star Person? Right? And maybe some of the things we've talked about to help galvanize your belief and knowing that you truly are an intuitive star person. So make sure you check that out. And I think we're going to probably continue that series throughout June. I believe that's what we've received in our meditation time, to go ahead and start exposing some of the stuff about our star persons, our star ancestry. Let's see. Heidi's checking in with us now. Let me see if I can add her. There you are, Heidi. How are you? Are you back with us?
I hope so. Friday night.
I mean, guys, you got your hair fixed today. You had to be on live with us. Goodness, so we can see all that beautiful hair. Well, Heidi is an intuitive, and she is an energy healer, energy counselor. She is also a pioneer woman. She does lots of things. So Heidi, introduce yourself to the crowd for those who have been living under a rock and they don't know who you are.
I'm Heidi Fire Owl, and I am an intuitive. I'm a holistic health practitioner, a board certified holistic health practitioner. I am a bioenergetic medicine practitioner. I'm a shaman. I am an animal communicator. I'm also a Qigong teacher.
Yes, you are. Yes.
And a lot of other things that, just throw into the mix.
And you started all this by being a massage therapist, right?
Actually, I did. I actually started all of this through learning Reiki, really for myself first. I went to learn Reiki for self-healing. And then that turned into me getting certified as a Reiki teacher, certified Reiki teacher. And then I went from there, and I got my certification for massage therapy and board certified and all that kind of stuff. And then I went to the International College for Bioenergetic Medicine, learned bioenergetic medicine, and went to a whole bunch of other trainings for a whole bunch of other different stuff, and and I continue to go to trainings for different things.
That's right. All of us are forever students, aren't we? Good.
Yeah.
All right, well, good. Well, we got a lot to unpack tonight, so we may go over our usual 30-minute time. So please hang in there with us if you like. But if not, if you can't finish up the show tonight, then you'll always be able to watch a replay. And please share this with other folks too, so we can help grow the channel. Okay. All right, well, let's pull up the slides, Heidi, and we'll go through those so you can see them. Is your screen big enough where you can see that intro slide?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is the third week that we've done a series in learning about the medicine wheel. And I just want to share with everybody that the medicine wheel is, you can go back and look at the part 1 and part 2 just to understand the basics of it. But, just so you know, the teachings that I'm teaching are not set in stone. There are so many teachings of the medicine wheel, and just understand that the basis of it is the same, but some of the colors and some of the animal gatekeepers might be different depending on what tribe you learn from. So this particular teaching is based from my teachings from some Lakota elders. And I've also studied with J.T. Garrett, from the Cherokee reservation. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that, because, sometimes you'll read that, there's herbal medicine in the South and not the West, or, whatever. So just understand that what I'm teaching comes from the teachings that I received personally from the Lakota. And again, this is what I'm teaching you from my teachings that I learned. So tonight we're going to discuss the medicine wheel and using it for our health, how the different directions, how, like basically the basis for addiction and our interactions with other people and groups of people. So we're going to be just kind of touching on each of these topics and how it pertains to using the medicine wheel, and how the medicine wheel directions, the 4 directions, influence these 3 things. And then I always say, I have this little saying that I heard an elder say, and I don't remember which one said it, and that's pretty sad. It's in my notes somewhere. But everything in life is sacred, and everything we do is spiritual. And what you're going to discover from the teachings tonight is that this is truth. Because if you do not have a spiritual foundation, everything, you're out of balance. And the way to get back into balance is through having a strong spiritual foundation. Okay, you can start.
All right, excellent.
So this is just the overview, basically, of the basic 4 directions: east, south, west, and north, and what the medicine wheel represents. And again, it's been used by Native people for over 10,000 years. And there's also the representation of the 5th and 6th direction, which is above and below. And then the 7th direction is the center, but we're just focusing on the 4 directions to use for healing. The gifts of medicine that the wheel brings, we went over these in the 1st and 2nd. Spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. The east is spiritual, represents the soul and our value system. The north is mental. It deals with our mind, and it has to do with our decisions. The west is physical. It represents our body, and it has to do with our actions. And the south is emotional. It deals with the heart, and it deals with our reactions. And this is all these medicine gifts are all going to tie into what I'm going to explain tonight. So this is about how we are working with my soul, mind, body, and heart, our emotions. Okay, next slide.
All right, outstanding foundation. Here we go.
Yes. So, um, these are my drawings. The way that I have been taught to understand. The medicine wheel gives us direction to maintain balance, and this allows us to keep harmony with nature and self. When we are in balance, everything around us in our life has harmony. We're not in conflict with anything. So what we understand is when we start in the South, if you listen to your emotions, we're going to go around counterclockwise. If you start in the heart and you listen to your emotions, be aware of your values in the East. And when you listen to your emotions and when you're aware of your values, that strengthens your decisions. When you're thinking about things in your mind, you're making decisions. So when you listen to your emotions, when you listen to your heart, when you're aware of your values at a soul level, your spiritual foundation, these will strengthen your decisions, and they will also strengthen your actions. Okay, next slide.
Okay.
So
And,
listen to
let me ask you a question about the way that you got the arrows going, kind of going like, I guess, in a counterclockwise. So could it flow the other way also, or does it not work that way?
it could flow the other way when we're doing internal healing. So we're talking about the external right now. Listening to your emotions, being aware of your values, and that will help strengthen your decisions, your actions.
Right, gotcha. All right. All right, next.
So when we're talking about health and using the medicine wheel, the understanding is that, the modern medicine approach is always external. Modern medicine basically believes that you are outside of the circle. When you're treated with modern medicine, you're treated outside of the circle. So that's the modern medicine approach. It's an external approach that they most doctors use for healing. So when we're using the external approach or modern medicine, we seek out a doctor, and that is because we're seeking a fix, some sort of fix. So we're seeking out a doctor. Modern medicine treats the physical, the West, and we're talking about, again, externally. So modern medicine treats the physical. And if you pay attention to words, you'll know that, physical, physician, physics is natural sciences. And basically, the doctors and physicians, generally rely on science for the information that they get. So modern medicine is based on linear healing, and they are removing the spiritual aspect of it. So modern medicine files emotions with the mind. And you're often treated with medications because you're treating an external part. You're treating the physical. So when we look at modern medicine in the external approach, It's seeking external healing is when we put others in charge of our healing. And it's going to look like this. So the modern medicine approach is external, like I said, and it's when we put others in charge of our healing. So if we put others in charge of our spiritual healing, if we're going, dealing from the external factor of healing, modern medicine approach, we're going to go to our priest or our clergy for healing. In the East. In the North, in the mental aspect, we're going to look to our teachers or psychiatrists for healing. In the West, in the physical aspect, we're going to look to the doctor and the physician. And in the South, I know it's not on there. I'm not sure it made it on the slide, but in the South, we are going to go to our friends or our relatives or our family members for healing. We are looking for healing outside of ourselves externally when we go and seek healing from all people. Oh, there it is.
It popped up, friends and relations at the bottom.
Yeah. So modern medicine approach, if you think about it, most people go to the doctor for everything. And that is external. That's an external healing approach. And what happens is a lot of times when people don't get that external fix that they're looking for in the West, okay, they've gone to the doctor and they've gone there for an external fix physically because they're not feeling well. Generally, that's going to, if they don't get the fix that they're looking for, it's going to impact the South because it's going to create emotions for them. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to be angry. All of that kind of stuff is going to come up. So one direction affects the other. Okay.
Makes sense. That's great.
So the traditional healer approach, which is how I approach healing, the traditional healer approach is internal. We know that we heal from the inside out. And generally, everything that we have that we consider dis-ease begins with an emotion. This is the traditional healer's approach. So we are working from the inside out. So we are considering the person at the inside of the circle, and we're going to work from the inside out. So just picture that you're at the center of the circle of the wheel, and that you take an active role in your own healing. This is a traditional healer's approach. You're at the center of the wheel, and you're taking an active role in your own healing path. And it's based on circular healing from the inside out. So we're treating all four directions: the soul, the mind, the body, and emotions. Where modern medicine generally will file the emotions with the mind. And traditional healers, we don't do that. Everything, there's all four directions get treated. So the treatment with a traditional healer is going to include prayer in the East. If you have a spiritual imbalance, we're going to say, pray. If you have an imbalance, any kind of mental health issues, meditation in the North. If you have any kind of physical issue, herbs, natural healing. And if you have an imbalance in the South, we're going to tell you to get in touch with your emotions instead of numbing them out. So if you think about it, we are created with this innate desire to seek balance. The body is constantly working. I mean, we are just this beautiful creation. You know, if you think about high blood pressure or things like that, that is the body pushing, creating pressure, a sneeze, a cough, a runny nose, all of that stuff. That is your body constantly trying to regulate itself, to keep it in homeostasis, in balance. So we are created to innately stay and seek balance. We want balance. And so we know that how we know this is because if we have mental stress, okay, we're starting up at the top in the north. So we know that mental stress causes physical illness. That's a proven scientific fact. Mental stress causes physical illness. And we know that a lot of times physical illness leads to emotions, depression mostly. And we also know that how we innately, or we know that we're created to innately seek balance, because generally when we are sick, when we have a physical illness, we just innately turn to God or spirituality. And this is indicative by the chapels in the hospitals. We know that when people are ill, they tend to pray more. A lot of people like to bargain with God during that time, or whoever it is that they're praying to. A lot of people like to bargain. But we do know that we are designed to seek balance. And in order to seek balance, you look at all four directions. Next slide.
Great perspective there, Heidi, because it really looks like the traditional healer's approach actually addresses the core issues.
It does.
And the external, what slide you had up earlier, it seems like it would just only direct their attention to symptoms and really never get to the core.
Yes. So modern medicine is actually like just putting tape over your check engine light.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good.
Yeah,
analogy.
makes sense.
Great analogy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, understanding how important spirituality is, especially most people actually are aware of it now, of what happens when we remove spirituality. When you break a person's spirit, like literally you have broken that person. And so when we remove spirituality, that's your value system. So the result becomes negative emotions in the South. People become angry, frustrated, sad. They get low self-esteem. If you think about over the last 4 years, everything that's happened, and how, regardless of what your opinions are, the facts are the facts. If you compare the suicide rates, the depression, the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the hopelessness, all of these emotions, people have had over the last 4 years, because of the fact of, just really removing a big part of spirituality, or shutting their churches down and things like that, where people gather for their spiritual communities. So what we know, that when we remove spirituality, when we remove the East, the value systems, the results are negative emotions. Again, anger, frustration, sadness, low self-esteem, all the other stuff, hopelessness. And what it does is, if you look at the picture of the medicine wheel here that I have with the arrows, so we're removing the yellow. We take that out. So what happens is the effect, we remove spirituality. It creates negative emotions down in the south. And because we have no spirituality, we're going right up into our mental decisions in the north. So the effect of the negative emotions in the south have an impact on our mental decisions. And that's how we decide, we use that area to decide how we deal with our negative emotions. And then that moves over into what we physically do, our actions. And generally, a lot of people, because of the negative emotions, are going to turn to the use of drugs and alcohol, non-beneficial behaviors to numb their emotions. Does that make sense?
Yes, great charts to explain that. Yeah, nice visual.
So when a person says, I need to find myself, it indicates a spiritual disconnect and that their beliefs are physically rooted. So if you look at the chart, if you look at the medicine wheel and you take away the yellow, and that's the east, that's the spiritual. So if we remove spirituality, our value system, that's our value system. That basically gives us direction. If we remove that, a person just feels lost, just feels like they need to find themselves. And so they're going to turn to things in the physical 3D reality. So a lot of people will go buy cars or clothes, or they're going to start doing physical things to try to figure out who they are, basically, because they're going to identify with all of these physical rooted things. They're going to, a lot of people, okay, so they start, they go out and they start buying things, and, then all of a sudden it gives them this identity. And the same thing with the drugs and the alcohol and the non-beneficial behaviors. That is all done to numb the negative emotions. And from my experience and from my teachings and from my own personal experience and from the experience that I gathered from clients, is that to recover or heal addictions, you need to have a very strong spiritual foundation. The spiritual foundation is our value system. It literally determines how we think, what we do, and how we feel. Can you see that on the wheel?
Yes, let me blow that up for you.
Yeah. So when we remove the East, when we remove our value system, when we're just running around nilly-willy, like we don't have any regard for anything or anyone, take that East, that yellow right away. We're going to be in these negative emotions. We're going to be angry, frustrated, sad. We're going to have low self-esteem. That's going to affect our mental, the way that we're thinking about ourselves, the way that we're thinking about anything. And it's going to lead to our physical actions of destructive behaviors in order to numb out those emotions. So we have to have a very strong spiritual foundation if we don't want to be just out there doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, because it's like taking a big chunk out of our body. If we didn't have that part of the body, we wouldn't be able to function properly. So it just makes total sense that the spiritual part has got to be an active part of your conscious living.
It does. And it is your conscious living because it's where your value system lays. So that is your consciousness, basically.
Outstanding.
So we're going to move into talking about interactions with others, our relationships. So the medicine wheel gives us this understanding that, we indicate projection or complete circular communication. So if we are in balance in all four directions, if we're in balance, we are going to have a cohesive, harmonious relationship with anyone we come in contact with. So the projection part is this: when you are out of balance, or when you are not in a complete circular balance with others, what happens is this. So in let's just say business meetings, classes, and people we don't know well, that's when we're actually projecting.
Could you back up a little bit on that? Could you go back to that again, Heidi? It froze up on us.
Yep. So business meetings, classes, and people we don't know well, that is when we actually project. Because we're not showing up with all four parts of ourselves. We're not showing up with all four directions because we don't know these people. So we're just showing up with parts of ourselves or a few parts of the medicine wheel. When we are interacting with family or close relationships, we can interact with all of self, the east, the south, the west, and the north. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So ideally, when people get into a relationship or when you're in friendships or relationships with people, ideally, both people will be balanced to complement each other, not to complete each other. So you know that stupid saying in that dumb movie where that woman said, "You complete me."
Yeah, Jerry Maguire. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to like throat punch her when she said that. That's the dumbest thing ever. Don't ever say that to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. That means you need to get on that medicine wheel and do your work.
Exactly.
Okay? No, you don't want anyone to complete you. You want to be a complete whole yourself. Okay. And you want to be with somebody that is also a complete whole, that's done work in all four directions, that has that balance. So when two people come together that are balanced, you are going to have harmony because of the fact that you're not going to constantly be trying to balance each other out. You're not going to need to do that, because you're both coming in whole and balanced, so that you're not going to have that conflict. You're going to be able to interact with all four aspects of yourself. So you know how they say opposites attract? Opposites do attract to complete the circle when two people are not balanced. Because again, innately, we are designed to seek out balance. So we're going to seek out the person or the people that have what we don't have to balance us. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It kind of reminds me of when you have like two birthday candles, when they're both lit, but when you put them together, they don't cancel each other out. It just makes the fire bigger and brighter.
Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly, yes. So conflict in relationship happens when you operate outside of your circle or your comfort zone. So when you're in a relationship with someone, and let's just say you're balanced, you're physically fit, you're strong, you have a lot of endurance, and you're spiritually grounded, but you have mental health issues, you're just out there, you have negative emotions, and you're just, whatever, you're just a negative Nelly. And then your partner is the opposite of that. You're constantly going to be battling because you are going to be trying to be positive because this person that you're with is saying, you're always so negative. You need to look at the bright side of things or whatever. And you're just like, oh my God, or you're trying, and then that builds more resentment and whatever. So that's where conflict comes. And then you start arguing and bickering because you're like, oh, you're trying to change me. You're, whatever. And so this is how we have conflict in our interactions with others. When two people get together and they're not balanced because we're trying to get this person out of their comfort zone to do or be or feel, and they're like, I can't because I'm unbalanced and I'm negative right now, or I'm too positive, because there is such a thing.
Yes.
So we're talking about the balance. So when people are balanced in all four directions, it does create that harmony and not conflict.
Yes. That's great. Pearls of wisdom for those of you out in the audience that are shamanic life coaches. This is the information you can use to help others find that healing path. So this is great info, Heidi. I know this could be a weekend long workshop. This could be Friday night, all day Saturday night, Sunday morning.
It's so much info. And especially the healing part of it, the modern and the traditional healing. That's really my passion, of teaching people how to heal from the inside out. That's really my passion. If people really understood, how we're designed, and aside from the science of everything, the biochemistry and all of that, just the way that Creator designed us. We are designed to heal. We're designed to heal from the inside out. Yes. So all of the things that we look for outside of ourselves for healing, you're just going to be looking all for the rest of your life, and you're not going to heal. So I'm just saying.
And we heard we were watching a video today about med beds, and we heard a wonderful perspective that, the med bed may be an external machine, and it will do some physical and mental healing for us. But also the other perspective is what if the med bed is not a physical machine, that you yourself will be transformed into a med bed, where not only do you heal yourself, but you're able to heal other people. And it's all going to be an internal mechanism. Isn't that a wonderful perspective? Going to what you were talking about, external healing and internal healing.
Yes. It is. We are already. If you think about the design of the body, and and everything that we need for healing, we have been given on this earth. I think there's there's over 400,000 or 350,000 different herbs on this earth, growing for our healing, for our, to heal us. And that's pretty amazing. It's just so amazing. So, and people have been healed by prayer. There's all these stories of people that if you just research, if you want to know about inside out healing, just do your research, because that is how we are designed to heal.
Yes. It's a wonderful approach. Let's see. Is that, oh, one more.
So when I say that everything, well, I didn't say it, but when I say the quote, when I repeat the quote, everything in life is sacred and everything we do is spiritual. Everything is rooted in spirituality. Everything is rooted in our value system. So when we interpret, okay, so this photo, I actually found this photo. I have no idea who did this, but when I was looking for a medicine wheel picture, I actually found this. And I don't know who actually created this. So I just put on there that the artist is unknown, but I did not do this, but this is very similar to my notes. And if you understand going around the wheel for healing, and you understand going around the wheel for balance, this is how it works. We interpret the values in the spiritual. So you're here at your spirit values on the right. Your values go into and influence your mind, your decisions. And then you implement your decisions into action. And that's in the physical. And then your actions produce a reaction, an emotion. So the things that you do physically create an emotion for you. And then your emotions influence your values. So it provides like a feedback loop, or it's input back into your value system. So your emotions, so this whole thing is all about understanding your values influence your decisions lead to actions, and your actions influence your emotions, and then your emotions and how you feel create a feedback loop into your values.
It's a wonderful cycle. Give us something physical to look at. That's great.
Yes. Do you have any questions about that?
No, that's a great picture to have. So make sure folks that are listening to this, save that picture. Do a control print screen, okay, and that way you can copy it and then you can paste it onto a PowerPoint or a Word document. That way you can blow it up and have it right there and put it on your refrigerator. Put it by your computer, because that'd help you to realize the steps to take to truly create some personal healing.
Yeah. So, if we understand this, every time we go to do something, or every time we have a decision to make about something, we're going to understand that it's going to affect our action. It's going to affect, however we feel about something. It creates a feedback loop into our values, right? And then that influences our decision. Our values influence our mental state, what we decide to do physically. And what we do physically creates an emotion for us. Because if in our mind, if we're not in a good frame of mind, we're going to create harm, right? Physically, we're going to create harm in some way.
Right.
And then that's going to create a negative emotion that we're going to feel like crap about ourselves. And then that leads back and creates a feedback into our value system, where it pulls us further away from our spirituality. Does that make sense?
It does. It's like if you don't have the spiritual foundations or the value foundations that help make you successful in life and feeling great, it's like when you go around this circle, this cycle, you know, the emotions, it's like it just hits a dead end and you stop. I mean,
Yes.
you're not able to progress, making any type of progress on your healing or wellness or happiness, health, everything. So,
Yes. So here's something for life coaches. When people come and say they're stuck, do you know what I tell them? One word. Pray.
pray.
Pray. Pray.
Yeah, because we have to have the spiritual values, right? The foundation.
Yes.
That
So when
connection.
you are, yes. Yes, because there's nothing you're literally not getting anything into the value system is literally where everything, that's the foundation. So everything is rooted in spirituality. And, call it whatever you want or say whatever you want or pray to whoever you want or whatever. Even just going out into nature can be considered prayer. But people, I'm telling you, if you feel stuck, pray. Pray about it. And you'll
Good
see.
advice. Yes.
Your mind will change. And then you'll start doing something about it. Do you see where I'm going with this? And then you'll feel so much better about yourself and everything. And then that leads back and feeds back into your value system. And then you're going to have a better mindset. And then you're going to do more stuff.
Yeah, and it supercharges this cycle. My goodness, it's like it just gives it gasoline so you can get more fuel so you can continue your journey. Yeah, that's great.
It absolutely does. And so then, and also too, you asked about, can it go both ways? Yes, it can. So your emotions, if you're in a crappy place, your emotions can physically lead you to do things that are harmful to yourself and others.
Right.
And then, that's going to create depression or, whatever. You're in your mind, you're not going to be in a good frame of mind. And then you are going to pull away from your spirituality.
Exactly.
Because when we don't have good self-esteem, when we we don't feel good about ourselves, we don't feel worthy. We don't feel worthy of blessings or whatever you want to classify, under spirituality. We don't feel worthy of that. So we get further and further away from it.
All that makes sense because when you those emotions override you and you revert back to doing like alcohol, drugs, or eating a whole box of ice cream sandwiches, you don't feel good after you do these things. God, you feel awful.
You do. You do. It's terrible. But we self-sabotage when we're not praying enough. Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. And then you had a picture of your medicine circle again, medicine wheel.
Yeah, so I shared this last time. This is a medicine wheel that I created in my yard and hand placed every single one of those huge ass stones. I know, in 2011. Anyway, so yeah, I've done a lot of healing ceremonies, drum circles, healing sessions with clients that have come. We've done several healing sessions around that. And when you have one in person, when you physically have one, you can draw it on a piece of paper. I know some people that have a painting, some people have a canvas that they use that they unfold and put on the ground and they'll stand on it so they can, move it around. Some people have a beautiful herb medicine wheel. I mean, you can look look them up online and look up how to do them in the stone placing. There are particular stone placings, and each stone has a representation. So there are some photos online that will tell you what each stone represents. In fact, I think I have one here, but yeah. So there you can print these off, and it will show you, it will tell you how many stones and what each stone represents on the wheel. And I just encourage everyone to make a medicine wheel in your yard, on your property. If you can't do that, then just draw one, or, like I said, paint one, or, purchase a canvas one or something from online from someone that that's what they do. And just use it and print off some of the pictures, and, just understand that our healing path is a spiral. It's a shaman spiral. It is a spiral path. There's no linear path to healing. We're constantly, striving for balance and seeking balance in our body every day. It's working to maintain temperature, fluid balance, all of that. We're just constantly, all day long, our body is working to keep us in balance. And it's so beautiful.
Yes, it is. Oh, sound advice from a wise woman. Thank you so very much. With a beautiful hairdo. Did great. Oh, great. Well, if you have any questions, I've got contact info in the show notes for ourselves and Heidi. Also, I think 4 of the books that she mentioned the last show, those links are still in the show notes. And so you can contact us or contact Heidi, and you can do that and set up for more information, more classes, more sessions, personal sessions, and you can let that work for in your life. If you're a shaman life coach, go back and listen to this video again, and take notes and apply those notes when you're working with other people. So this is a wonderful way to do, wonderful perspective, and very simple to do. When you said that anybody could have the medicine wheel, it reminded me of those. Remember back probably 20 years ago, you could buy little Zen gardens, and put on your desk. Yeah. And you had sand and had this little rake with it. So you could really do something like that. Just buy a round frame or something and put sand in it, and put little, tumbled stones or crystals, flowers, and all that. Yeah, that'd be great. Sand. Yeah, colored sand would be great.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have a visual, and to just to understand, we're, the things that we do, just it's all about consciousness and understanding that path of how one thing affects another and another and another and another. And, so it's just really good if you print out the photos, just once you get it, everything that you do, everything that you think when you're feeling something, when I feel something, if I feel sad or angry or whatever, I can immediately say, where's my head? Like, what's my mental state? Usually it has something to do with, something I'm thinking about, or, whatever. And so what do? I need to pray. I got to pray about it. Or I can go take a walk. That's something physical. Take a walk. But yeah, so it's just really helpful to understand that, the cycle and the circle. So the medicine wheel and the 4 directions, balance and harmony.
That's great. Well, I hope there's more from where this came from tonight, so we can do it the continuing series. So thank you so very much. And we'll have to think about a weekend workshop, and we can integrate some of our healing modalities.
It's so fun.
With teaching, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Well, it's so fun because people, when they when they don't really, they're not familiar with it. And then if they do the medicine wheel workshop, if, once they figure out like which direction they're imbalanced in, it's like, oh my gosh, like I really didn't think that.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's kind of neat. And then also to go through, exercises of how to rebalance. It's just really fun.
Yeah, it would be. Especially, if we can interject different healing modalities for each direction. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Heidi. Let me finish up with some slides here to kind of bring all this back together. So as we talked about, remember, we have to have our spiritual side. So we have to know about that connection. So remember, we're one collective diamond soul. This is where we live forever, right? And we just go in and out and around and through, above, below, within, without. This is what we do for all of eternity. So make sure you enjoy all these facets of life forever. And one thing, as we've talked about your spiritual side, please remember this is your default nature. You are a divine being or a divine spirit, and you live forever. You have enough energy in you, in your persona, your cosmic persona, that you actually live forever. That's a long time. Okay? So make sure you realize you're awesome, you're beautiful, you're perfect. So remember, LAB, lab, you look awesome, beautiful, and perfect. You act awesome, beautiful, and perfect. And you be awesome, beautiful, and perfect. And why? Because you are divine. Good. So thank you so very much, Heidi. Thank you for sharing your wisdom tonight. Thank you.
Great job, Heidi. Thank you so much. Lots to think about. I love you.
We almost ate up an hour. We almost ate up an hour, I believe. We're at that 57.5 minute mark. So great. It was great information. Totally kept us enthralled with all the perspectives and all the explanations. So thank you so very much for that. So,
yeah. What else does anyone have to do on a Friday night except watch?
That's right. I mean, you had to show the world your new hairdo, so good dance. Where else can you do that? Well, thank you, Heidi. And we'll talk to you after the show here. But for everybody else, thank you for joining us tonight. Please share this on replay. Remember, you are divine. So begin to look, act, and be divine. Okay. All right. Let's end it on a pow. 1, 2, 3, pow. Okay. Well, remember, be the aloha in every moment. And why do we do that? Because that's who you are. So be the love in every moment. So take care. We love y'all. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Aloha.
Thank you.